Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. 3 WNBA games here on Thursday. Didn't have much on Wednesday. Really small slate with just one game. Ended at about 500. Didn't lose much there. About minus 0.2 units on the night on Wednesday. But we've got much more to bet on here on Wednesday. I'm going to take you through the matchups, the key info that you need to get those bets down yourselves. If that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's jump right into it. As always, going to be using Props Madness as we jump into the show here. If you do want to use Props Madness yourself, use code LYB when you sign up. That'll get you 25% off your first month. Also gets you 7 free days to trial it out, see if you like it for yourself. This is the #1 sports betting research tool for all things hoops and props. Has all the things you need in a one-stop shop, and they keep adding to it as well. But Kelsey Mitchell is how we're going to kick things off here in this Fever and Aces game, and we're going to be without Caitlin Clark once again. That's the only key injury to let you guys know about in this one. So Kelsey Mitchell is someone that we're going to be looking at here, and Swish Info, my buddy who I have been collabing with, and has those awesome set of AI bots that he's built over the last number of years to get these really great value bets, right, and find the edges against the market. And Kelsey Mitchell's standing out to both of us, especially to the bots there, as she has been awesome over the course of basically the last 12 games. And that's what I'm looking at with her, is the usage has gone up, the shot attempts have gone up, everything is way better. In fact, if you look at the first 12 games for her on the season, she was at 17 points per game, shooting 41% from the field and 27% from three. Even bad from the free throw line, just 71%. But in these last 12 games, what you're going to see is she's up to 53% from the field, 46% from three, and 80% from the free throw line, which is why she's at 22 points a game, basically in her last 12. And really the last 12, 13 is really the number here. But really looking good here moving forward for Kelsey Mitchell. I think she's still on it at this point. Maybe she's not going to be shooting 53% for the whole rest of this season, but I think closer to 50 than to the 40 that she was at prior to this. So I still like this matchup for her. It's not really even about the matchup. It's just about the number for Kelsey Mitchell. For Aaliyah Boston, I also really like the points. It's just really sticking with the points. I would take the 14.5. If you can get 13.5 on FanDuel, that's great. It might not be there by the time some of y'all are watching this episode, but the key here is that way that the Aces have not been able to defend down low. Now, it looks really good next to the basket, like their third best, limiting points inside of 5 feet. I would question how good they've actually been in the last 6 games or so, 10, all the way up to 10 games. Their paint defense has been bottom 3. Even next to the bucket, they've actually been a lot worse. They've been 6th and not 3rd best in the last 10 games or so. So still plenty of options for Aaliyah Boston. Even without Caitlin Clark, she's come along a big way. She's got really good numbers head-to-head so far this season against this team. One of those was without Caitlin Clark as well here in the last game that they won by 27 at the beginning of July. So still having plenty of problems defending down low for the Aces. So I still like Aaliyah Boston to get in there in this matchup. And then Natasha Howard, I have no idea what to do with. I'm not even going to pretend like I know when she's going to play more minutes versus not play more minutes. 12.5 points is a beatable number for the way that she's been playing for most of the season, actually over in more games than she's gone under, even though she's only at 12 points per game on the season. This is still a beatable number at plus money. I'll probably stay away from it because I'm going with Aaliyah Boston. And then Sophie Cunningham, who I talked about last game and then ended up not betting. I was just waffling between she and Ari McDonald, and then I went with Ari McDonald because she had the matchup with Sabrina Ionescu last game. Didn't work out. Sophie Cunningham took all the shots once again, 8 shots, 8 3 attempts, right? And we're still getting 2 for her to make, even though it's juiced now to minus 120. The key here is that she entered the starting lineup right here against the Dream, and in those games since she entered the starting lineup for her, it's been about 6 games, maybe 5 games that she's been playing, right? Over in all those games, the points, she's gone over 10 in all those games. The minutes are up as well at this point, 27.4 minutes per game in the last 5 here since that entering the starting lineup. That's more than the 23.8 she was playing, obviously. So I still think this is a decent matchup for Sophie Cunningham, a good spot up shooter against the Aces, who have been good defending the 3, but she's often forgotten, and I think the volume is going to continue to be there for her. So I would still look at her points, even though I'm still pissed at myself for not betting it last game. And then R. McDonald it's kind of a toss-up, even though she's at about 10 points per game without Caitlin Clark this season. It's not like that's much of an edge on the 9.5, right? And it's 9.9 plus money. This is a toss-up bet, and I took it last game because I like the matchup she was getting. I don't think she's going to have as boo-boo of a defender on her in this one as Sabrina was last game. So probably passing on R. McDonald this game. Would prefer Sophie Cunningham once again. And then going down to the Aces, Asia Wilson, still going to be betting her over 23.5. It's still hitting. The shot attempts last game 18. told you this, in the games that she shoots 18 or more shots, they are 7-3 now on the season. So that she is pretty aware that she needs to be taking a ton more shot attempts. And if you look at the field goal attempts for her, when she takes at least 18 shots this season, she's at 27 points per game. She has taken 18 shots at least in most of the last, definitely the last three. The one where she only made it 14 minutes before getting hurt, obviously didn't get those shots up. But all the games where they are winning, she's at 18 shot attempts. So I think that correlation is going to stick for her. She's going to keep taking those shots, and she should be expected to get about 25 points per game. I mean, shit, she had a really bad start to this season, but look at last season. She was at 26 points per game, and that's what we should be expecting for her, much more so than the 21, 22 that she's been averaging for most of this season. For Jackie Young, looking at rebounds and assists once again, this is waffling between 7.5, 8.5. We bet this last game, still looking to bet this in this one as well. 8.5 for even money, that's about what this should be. This should be about 8.5 for her on the RA. Even at 8.5, she's still looking at a really, really nice hit rate here over, in fact, in 12 of 19 games, almost as good as the 7.5. So this is still good for plus money. This is going to sort of, like I said, hover between 7.5 for bad juice, 8.5 for really good plus odds. I would take both of them for the over for Jackie Young. Once again, do not trust her on the points this season whatsoever, but that's the only bets I'm really looking at in this one. Let's turn it over to the Sparks and the Sun. Before we get into these props for the Sparks and Sun, I do want to let you know the Sparks have been awesome in their last 5 games. They're 4-1. They have the number 1 offensive rating. They have the 10th best, so basically 4th worst defensive rating. They're playing really high scoring games here because they're the best shooting team in the league, both effective field goal percentage and true shooting percentage. They've got the most points in the paint, the most attempts in the paint, and the number 1 3-point percentage. So what the Sparks are doing is going in and out, right? They're driving to the rim. They're kicking for 3. They're getting open threes, but they're taking a ton of shots at the rim. And so I'm going right to their props here, and not really too worried about the Sun. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what to do with the Sun. So I'm not gonna sit here and fake it and tell you that I like this or that about it, because I don't know absolutely what to do with them at all. They shouldn't be playing Tina Charles 35 minutes a game, but they are. So they don't know what the strategy is there, because it's clearly not, let's get our young guys and gals some actual playing time. But I still love all the forwards here. Now, Kelsey Plum has been doing just fine. If you look at these last 5 games, she's been killing it from 3. And I would say for plus money, once again, at like plus 125, I would still take the threes. The defense for the Sun is better outside than in, for sure. They're a better 3-point defense than they are down low, but they're the worst defense down low. So it's not saying much to say that, right? The key here is that if you wanted to take an over for Plum, right, on the season, even if you look at the points, right, they're at 19.7. This is a beatable number with 18.5 or 17.5 as her line, for sure. Like, I'm okay on the points. But the thing about the points is if you look at the threes made, right, if she doesn't make 3 threes, she's probably not getting 18 points. So if I take the threes and I take it the threes that she's made and I filter it so that I only see the games where she's made 2 or fewer threes, she's only gone over her points prop twice out of 9 games. If she gets 3 threes, right, exactly 3 threes, well, now she's at 18 points per game, over in 4 of 7, and obviously she makes 3 or 4. Now we're talking about an awesome hit rate over a 9 of 12. I'm not saying that she's good to hit 3 threes. This is plus 125 for a reason. What I'm saying is if you're going to take an over on Plum, might as well take the threes for plus money when she's probably not getting the points without hitting the threes anyway. So hopefully that logic makes sense to y'all. Dearica Hamby, still love her, and Jackson and Stevens. Now for Hamby here, 16.5 points going up against a Sun team that is worse right next to the basket. And you can see she's shooting almost 90% of her shots in the paint. She's shooting 71% inside 5 feet and scoring 12 points per game alone inside 5 feet. So I think Hamby, who has been on an absolute tear over the course of her last 6 games, has upped her shot attempts, has upped her everything. Her usage has gone up. The field goal attempts are up to about 14 as opposed to 12 on the season. The usage rate as well has gone up. Let me get to that. We're looking at 27% usage versus 24% on the season, and that's correlates with a really nice win streak, 4-2 in these last 6 games where she's been an absolute stud down low, and her usage has climbed. So still love her. And Rickea Jackson, she's a huge part of why this team has been so good on offense and why they're so good going downhill, because she has been a total emphasis for them. She and Azura Stevens, Swish Info and I both love both these players in this game. Once again, they're scoring about like 90 points per game in their last 5. And granted, they're shooting a really high percentage from 3, but the change that's come in the last last 2 games is Lakia Jackson driving downhill to the bucket one-on-one and looking for her in those one-on-one spots, and Azura Stevens running the pick and roll with Kelsey Plum. They've run that a bunch more in the last 5 games as well. You can see in these last 5, just 1 under for Azura. And honestly, the thing about Azura is you might as well just take 15 plus points for her anyway, because on the season, despite not average, she's averaging that amount anyway, right? She's at 15 points, 14.9 on the season. But the other thing is she's never once scored 13 or 14 points. Every single game she's played in, she scored at least 15 or just fewer than all of that, right? Like 10 or less. So there's no point in even taking the 13 and a half. I'm just going 15 plus for Azura. She's involved in the pick and roll so much now that her shot attempts have gone up, her usage has gone up. And it's been a focal point from the coaching staff. That's another banger from Swish Info. Like I said, handing us this stuff in the VIP and contributing to these episodes as well. So love all the forwards, everything here for the Sparks as well to the over. And then if we're looking at the Storm and the Sky game, there's going to be a couple of things that we've got to keep in mind here. We've got a couple injuries that we've got to keep an eye on. Angel Reese is questionable. So is Skylar Diggins. And we don't even have props for Skylar right now, but we do have them for Angel. Staying away from anything for the Sky right now until I know about Angel. But I will say a couple players stand out when they're playing without without Skylar Diggins. And although I love Gabby, it's not her. She actually doesn't really do a lot more without Skylar out there. The players that go way up in points and everything, really. We're talking about Erica Wheeler. She goes up to mostly in the assists and the rebounds. And so if you look at her RA in this game, it's 7.5 plus 105. But when she's played without Skylar Diggins this season, just the minutes that Skylar is off court and Erica Wheeler is on court, she's at about 5 assists per 30 minutes, 4 rebounds per 30 minutes. So she's closer to like 9 RA per game, and we're getting plus money for her to go to get 8 or more, right? In this one, I do like that, obviously against an awful defense in the Sky, one of the bottom 3 for the whole season for a reason. So I like the RA the most for Erica Wheeler. Don't mind the points, but she's only at about 9 points per 30 minutes without Skylar. So not sure if we should bank on that quite as much, but the other player here is going to be Ezzy on the PR. She's averaging about 20 points and rebounds combined per 30 minutes without Skylar. And we've even seen in the last 6 games or so, shout out Swish once again, he's pointed out to me that in the last 6 games, it was when the coaching staff started saying they wanted to see Ezzy McBeggar get much more heavily involved in the offense. And so her field goal attempts in the last 6 games have been up much more so than the most of the season, up to 8.2 after just taking about 6.8 for the earlier part of the season. Actually, was taking about 5.8 earlier in the season. So she's gone up about 3 shot attempts per game. So I love the points still. The boards, 6.5 is still a really beatable number for her. That's basically what she's at on the season. The PR overall is beatable as well, but I prefer the PR and the points over anything. So if you can't get both PR points and rebounds combined, I would just take the points over adding the boards. Quick reminder to check the description of the video. Have a link to all of the sportsbook partners that I have. That'll get you plenty of free money. If you don't have any accounts with these guys, sign up, use code LYB, get all your free bonus bets, and then come over. I'll get you a free month in the VIP so you don't miss any of the bets that I'm making in the Discord there. You can hit me up at JL Boogie on Twitter or Discord. I'll get you that free month. Just let me know that you signed up for any of these books using that code LYB. But best of luck here on Thursday, and until I see y'all next, happy betting.